Hi, this is Julie Powell and welcome to another Photoshop 101. In this week's video I'm going to go through some more advanced methods of using dodge and burn to clean up and finish an image using curves layers, and we'll go through pretty much fixing everything up from start to finish in this image. Now this is one by Colby Files. I've got permission to use this, and we're just going to go in. Now as you can see, her face is actually pretty good. There's just a few little bits and pieces that we want to tidy up, a few stray hairs that we want to get rid of and things like that. So I've started by making a duplicate layer. I'm going to go in with the healing tool and making that quite small. I'm going to go through and get rid of this bit of hair. I'll just speed this up a little bit for you. Okay, so, and there's just a few other little marks and things that we need to get rid of, so I'm just going to go through and just quickly clean her face up with the healing tool, and I'll speed this up for you, but you can still see what I'm doing, and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so as you can see, I've just done a little bit of a tidy up, just removed a few stray hairs that were on her face, a few little pimples and marks, so that's where we're at. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get rid of some of these deeper creases around her face and her neck, and we're going to brighten her up with a dodge and burn. So we're going to make two curve layers, one of which we're going to make slightly lighter, and we're going to call that dodge, and then we're going to make another one which we're going to make slightly darker, and we're going to call that burn. So we're going to go into the dodge layer to start with. We're going to invert that. Actually, we'll invert both of them by hitting Control I. Make sure your brush is set to white. Make it quite small brush, probably not quite so small, and drop your opacity to say about 25%. You can go in quite large and make your brush a little bit smaller, and where it's dark we're going to come along and paint in just the dark bit. Now using your flow set low as opposed to your opacity, the paint will build up as you continue painting. Whereas if you lower your opacity, you have to keep taking your brush off to make each pass over slightly stronger, and it's not quite as subtle. So that's before and that's after. That's before and after. So as you can see, you can make quite a bit of difference, and you do have to take your time and just go in little bits at a time. Before, after. Some people feel it's easier if you put a black and white layer over the top, and it can help, but I find it's just as easy to just paint straight over without using it. but that's just me. If you're just starting out, you might find it easier to put a black layer over. So even these ones, you don't want to eradicate them completely because she would look really strange, because there are natural creases that are in the eye, but if you lighten them off a little bit, they won't be quite so stark. So that's just lightening those up. And then I'll come back and I'll do the other side, and I'll just speed this up for you. Okay, we're back. So as you can see, I haven't eradicated the lines, but I've made them considerably less stark than they were, and if you continue to play with it, you can get it to a point where you might be making your model appear a little plastic, but if you still tend to keep some of the lines, but just soften them off. So that's where we are there. So you can then come along, you can do any of the areas that she may have, for instance, if there's any spots or pimples or something like that, they will create a shadow and a highlight where it hits the lights, and you can fix them up. So for instance, on this particular one here, there's a little shadow behind that we can get rid of, and if you go into the burn layer, we can remove the highlight as well. And that will make that spot a little less visible. So you don't have to use the heal tool on everything. You can also come in with the dodge and the burn, and you can make the eyes stand out. So if you go in with the burn around the edge of the eyes, and around the iris, and you can do a few sort of squiggly lines, because if you have a look at somebody's eye, they're going to have light and dark points throughout the colour of their eye. And you can make the center part a bit darker. You can come in and you can add some highlight to the actual eye part. Remember to work in a circular motion around the eye, and of course you can add in the catch lights from there. You can also brighten the eye up. You don't want to go too bright because it just makes them look a bit startled. As you can see, there's from the start to the finish, you can make quite a difference. I'll just jump in and finish this eye off, and I'll just speed it up for you. Okay, so now we're back with both eyes. Now you can keep working on this same dodge and burn layers for the rest of the dodge and burn, or if you want to, because we've got some more globalized dodge and burn that we're going to do. So it's up to you which way you want to go. If you want to prevent yourself from getting confused or caught up in what you're doing, it might be easier to create, you can put these in a folder, for instance, group from layers, and put fine adjustments. We could then go in and put in 2 more curves layers, one lighter, dodge, and invert that, and then of course put in another one slightly darker, which we invert and call that one burn.